Hello everybody and welcome back to another FTB Infinity Expert Mode video with Kryllyk. How's everybody doing today? Hopefully you're having a good one. We are at 2.14 trillion RF. We are capped out on our Draconic evolution core. How sweet is that? That's a lot of power. That's all that I can say. Power shouldn't really be a problem. Just saying, it shouldn't really be a problem. Now, I apologize because last night I recorded a video and whatnot. I was trying to use a different software program which used to work for me, but apparently my settings were all wrong and we were getting like white flashes in the screen and I just couldn't fix it. So it's one of those things. But in the meantime, let's go over what I did then instead. So over in the last millennium, I've been doing a ton of work and it's raining here too. Great. Why do all the weather things require bees? I really don't want to have to make bee stuff in this world. I've already done that in the other one. At least we'll be able to control the weather on the server with all the people. Alright, it went away. Oh, our prayers have been answered. Anyways, as you can see, I've built a nice little structure here for our AE2 and auto processing system. There's still a bit more work and whatnot that needs to go into it, obviously. But as you can see, we are wired up and we have everything here. Now, one of the first things that I did in the video was down here, boom, on our third level. Yes, multiple levels. I need to come up with some sort of an elevator or something for this as well. But we moved over all of our auto crafting molecular assemblers and all that kind of stuff. I still haven't gotten the acceleration upgrades for them, but this was basically what our system was in the basement right here. And I'm just running them in with dense cables because I don't know, the P2P is a good idea if you want to save resources, but dense cable is really cheap for me. Over here, I've set up a whole nother row of molecular assemblers that we just basically need ME interfaces for, and we can continually expand. So those would be our two auto crafting setups, just like so. This guy here is obviously our crafting setup. Now, in this, I have 6 coprocessors with 3 64K. I'm not sure if this is a good setup or not, but I guess we'll find out as we go. And I've just kind of leveled them in with some energy cells as well, because why not? Why not indeed? And it looks nice. I like the look of these set up like this. And I want to do another one over here. I've already prepped for it, as you can see. The other thing that we did is we moved over the inscriber setup from the overworld back over to here. And we set this guy up accordingly. Why is there all of that in there? There shouldn't be this in here. I forgot to blacklist this, that's why. Okay, good. We'll take these back out, and you're supposed to be in there. Good. And we'll input them back into the system. Not a big deal. So, there we go. Put the silicone back. Alright. So, we have basically an ME interface right here set with our patterns. So, one logic processor is going to require 1 gold ingot. And pure certus and diamond accordingly. Now, you'll see in this guy, we have silicone with the silicone press and printed silicone just in queue. I am debating setting up a chest for just a whole bunch of printed silicone, but it's one of those things. I don't know. Silicon. And then up here we have the logic, the calculation, and the engineering as well. I apologize if you can hear my children in the background. Apparently they're having fun playing video games. Smart kids, right? And we just have these all filtered accordingly. Alright? So we're just using Ender IO here and filtering through everything. So these make the circuits and the printed silicon. And then we have 3 more over here ready to go. On the top, we're inserting printed silicon. Okay, just like so. Good. And on the bottom, or on the side, we are inserting redstone and pulling out the finished goods. You can see that there. Now, the other thing is we then, on the bottom, insert whatever processor we're working on. So each one of these is set differently. Each one, I believe this one's logic, calculation, and engineering. So each one's set up differently. We also have these buffer mini chests that are set to silicone to craft it, because that'll be useful down the road, and this one to redstone. So we always have those available at all times to filter into these inscribers. What this means is our system works pretty darn good, and we're no longer, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but before we used to be limited to the amount that we could make. We could only make 64 on the other system at a time. This system, we can make all 128. So we can fire that up just like so. All 128 of those guys. And you'll start to see it work just like that. It pulls it out. It puts in everything else. Over here, we should be pressing down the circuits, which it's doing nicely, and pulling them out. Now, there is still a bit of a delay because we don't have buffers. Large buffers, but by theory I can set these up to craft 1,000 of them, and we'll only have to do it the one time and they'll be done. So pretty good stuff overall, and as you can see, our processors are increasing decently quickly. So that setup works pretty darn good, I feel. It's not too bad, and the other good thing is if I want to run all three, we don't have any delays at all because they all have their own machines to work through, except for maybe the printed silicon. But one of those things. Alright, so the next thing that we did in the video, I know we're getting a little bit long on the recap here, but there was a lot of stuff that I worked on, so I was a little upset, was this guy right here, the Energy Infuser by Draconic Evolution. And the recipe for that wasn't very complicated. It's pretty straightforward. Just one of these Aether Pearls along with some Ender Infused Obsidian and a Draconium block. Now, what we've done here is we've set up the pattern for charged Draconium. And we're just pulling it out once it's done to input back in. Okay? Once it's all done. And we've set this up with a crafting card as well. Alright. Now, what we got here as well is this guy is Draconium blocks. So we have a buffer of always keeping 64 Draconium blocks crafting in this mini chest at all times. So we'll always have 64 of these available to us, and then we have them on a storage bus, obviously. So what that means is we will always have at least 64 that can be charged at any one time. Alright, now this system was very important, and the reason it was so important was because of the automated awakened Draconium setup that we did over here. Yes, we finally did it, and this was done by Industrials Black, and I'll put a link down in the description of the video of his, little tutorial or guide on what he did to make this thing. Now, there's a few drawbacks to this system. One of them is you can only craft one set at a time. So, if we go to our Awakened Draconium and we craft one, for example, which is actually 4, and we hit craft, I got to take off my magnet. You'll see that this thing is going to start to go. The TNT gets placed. Boom, it pops the dragon heart. We have draconic cores right there, ready to be sucked in, and we have the charged draconium there as well. Now, those charged draconiums got charged that quickly in this energy infuser, and we just replaced all 4 that we used up of the draconic blocks, or draconium blocks. Now it's going to obviously change that charged draconium, and then another loud bang, and it should pick them up accordingly. Okay, so the system works quite nicely, and let's go over it quickly here. So we have one ME interface. This only takes one channel, which is kind of nice. One channel for this. The ME interface is inputting into this ME interface right here. Okay, so the pattern goes in this ME interface of the 16 draconic cores, 4 charged Draconium, 1 Dragon Heart, 1 TNT. Alright, now those are going into this ME interface, which acts basically as a storage. You could use a chest here as well, but you're better off doing the ME interface. And then we have 2 separate lines. By the way, to paint your lines with applied energistics, it requires the color applicator, this guy right here, which is a lot easier to make now that you only need the wrench, just saying. And then you put that in an ME chest and apply it some paintballs. Paintballs of all different colors. So this guy is the blue wire that we did. That requires some matter balls along with the blue. These are done in the condensers, just as a reminder. Okay, so this guy's going to use all 8 channels. 1 of them for the ME interface and 7 for formation planes. All right, now the first 4 here are saying charged Draconium blocks. Blocks will be placed as a block. All right, so these 4 will all be placing the charged Draconium right here, like so. Up here, this guy is placing the TNT as a block, and it's hitting this redstone, which instantly ignites it. And this one here is putting out a Dragon Heart, but it's dropping it as an item instead of a block, because you can't place that as a block, right? And last but not least is this formation plane over here. Now, Industrials Black did all the calculations on this, and this is the exact distance away, and you do need the piece of obsidian there to not destroy anything. So this guy's placing the Draconic cores as an item as well. So that's why they spit out here. And this is calculated. If it's one further away or one too close, it'll either get destroyed or, you know, it won't be able to suck up the Draconic cores. Okay? So that's that system there. And then this guy here, the Annihilation Planes, they'll just basically mine anything as long as they have an inventory to go to. So the inventory that these have to go to is a storage bus right here. And this guy is set to insert only, so it's only going to insert awakened Draconium blocks. So this will continually look for awakened Draconium blocks. Once it sees them, it mines them up, and it inserts it back into the ME interface, which means it goes back into our system. So one last quick time, I guess, while we're here, because, you know, why not? We can do it again. And this will auto-craft us up some more goodies. So there you go. As soon as those charged Draconium are ready from the infuser, that's kind of what lights the fuse and gets things going. So this guy will just continually run. It's very nice indeed. And it does the job quite nicely. Now, Industrials Black was also commenting a few times about maybe setting up some sort of a timer that would allow you to craft more than one at a time. And that could be something cool. So if any of you guys or girls have any ideas on how to do that, please let me know. Submit a video, submit me a link on my Twitter, you know, anything like that. I really do appreciate your guys' input. All right, so let me see how long this recap took. I have a feeling it took a while, but let me double check at how long it took. And then, how did that get back to that? It's supposed to be saplings. It was locked. I'm so confused right now. It's fine. It's fine. I'll fix it again. It was saplings, though. I don't get it. All right. All right, game. I see how it is. Okay, so we're back over here in the overworld, and I want to get the Draconium out of here into an ender tank and into the last millennium so that we can do the auto crafting over there. Because that's kind of our new MO. We're just trying to do all the auto crafting from, well, basically over there. So we're going to beef this guy up. It should fill up quite quickly, and it's kind of nice because we can transfer that accordingly. We still need to gussy up the place a little bit, but yeah, not too bad. So we now have liquid Draconium in that ender chest. Now, one of the problems is we don't actually have this hooked up anymore because we're out of channels in the overworld here. We may have to make like an auxiliary ME network or something over here. I'm not sure exactly what to do. Unless you guys know of a way that I can get more than 32 channels out of a quantum link chamber. I mean, I guess we could make another quantum link chamber, but that's, I don't know, it takes a lot of power. Maybe. Not that that's really a problem at this point in time. But anyway, so we got that done. Let's zoom on back over to the last millennium. I think I have everything I need. I do. Good. So we can swing on over there. We're making so many awesome improvements already, and I love every second of it. All right, let's zoom on down. So I moved our redstone one already. We need to automate this better than what we currently have for the redstone. But as you can see, it's just a standard setup for the Wyvern Energy Core in the casting table. And of course, we're pulling out with Ender IO so that we don't use up more channels. Not that it's really a problem, but I just wanted to keep the ground looking untouched, basically. This guy here, I think we're going to do the same thing just over here. And this will also give us a nice little avenue of dense cabling. Was kind of my other goal with this. So we'll get some more dense cabling. We got the smart cable there and another dense. Good. So we do have more channels to pull from here, which is kind of a nice bonus. This guy will go like so. We'll put in that, and then same kind of deal as over here. This is only a reinforced portable tank, and now that I'm looking at it, should we upgrade it? No, you know what? It's fine. We'll just do another reinforced portable tank, because it can only output it can only output 7,200 at a time anyways. So it's not really that big of a deal. We could probably even just go with a hardened, but we have the resources. Okay, so we'll need the casting table right there. Good. We will need the tank on top of that. Good. And pretty much duplicating the same setup. Now, this guy right up here, and of course we hit the button, and that converts it all down into there. So we're continually fueling from over at the smeltery. As you can see, that's staying full, and we're filling up our portable tank. Good. We have that guy set up appropriately. I think the only other thing that we need is... Can we actually do this? Huh. We can. Awesome. We need a couple of item conduits. Very good. I like that. All right. Boom, and extract and insert. Okay. So now we should be able to, by theory, craft up all of the draconic flux capacitors that we need. Now, we don't have quite enough awakened draconium yet, and I should actually craft another one. The booming's a little annoying, I'm not gonna lie. But how many can we actually do? We do have 45. Oh, okay. We're out of vibrant alloy and void metal. Alright, okay, we'll have to fix that up right away, I guess. So we can do almost all 16 then? Is that correct? Yeah, we're just short on some Terra Steel by 1, Mana Steel, Void Metal, and Vibrant Alloy. Okay. Well, that's not too bad at all. There's a few more things that we need to move over here, but what I plan on doing... That one's the loud one. That one's the loud one. Do I have like a sound muffler or something? Is that even going to work with this? I don't know. Can we just make one, please? No, we don't. We can't. All right. But yeah, so what I plan on doing is each one of these squares is going to be used for a different thing. So this guy right now is designed for, you know, some smeltery related things, basically. Now, am I going to move the gears over here too? I'm not sure. I may do an immersive engineering press in the middle here. I just broke my light, didn't I? I may do an immersive engineering press in the middle here for our gears instead of, you know, going the smeltery route, because that thing works amazing if you've watched my skyblock. But we're also going to have all of the machines and everything for auto processing done up. So let's, you know what? I'm going to keep working a little bit here. It's already getting a little bit late, which is not ideal. But let's start moving some more stuff from the overworld over to here. And what I'm thinking is just the stuff that we need to get the draconic flux capacitors up to where they need to be. So we need void metal, we need terrasteel. Terrasteel might be a little bit harder. Well, I'll probably just make the one we're missing. Void metal and vibrant alloy. So by theory, we just need the alloy smelter that can be set up and all that kind of stuff, and the a way to make void metal. So let's see, which one are we dealing with here? These are just plain. Let's just open up a way into the backside here. So we have the enderium there. We have the vibrant alloy there. Okay, that's not bad. That's not that bad. But you know what? I don't think I have these auto crafting, do I? Oh, I definitely do not have these auto crafting. Should we make a few more? I think we're going to need a few more of these things. Let's make... Oh, let's make... Okay, one more maybe? I don't know. Let's take the two that we have. I do plan on making more of them, I think, just for down the road. So we'll take these two, just like so. We're going to need a lot of power lines and all that kind of stuff as well. Either that, or we could basically put them on tesseracts all over the place. That is another possibility. So that, like that, good. And then we can basically just remove these. Good. And that should solve this entire little line that we have here, doesn't it? Indeed. Now this one goes over to our other system over here, if I'm not mistaken. So I'll just demo all of this because we can. And all of this I plan on moving anyways. So yeah, already getting so much better FPS in this area. We're up to over 50, which for a while there we were well below 40. So just saying, it's a lot better. Okay, I'm going to move these guys into the other lands, and we will see where that leads us. Alright, so we've successfully moved over the two alloy smelters. Again, pretty decent setup. Nothing too crazy here. Just running a dense cable over into a smart cable with the storage bus on the underside. I couldn't really think of a better way to run power outside of going with like a transvector interface. We may end up moving the Tesseract upstairs, but what I'm thinking is planning ahead, and if we put another alloy smelter in the middle here, and that's just going to handle our alloys alone, and then we could also put a row back here for our seg mills or any other Ender IO machines that we deem necessary for auto processing and crafting and all that kind of stuff. So as you can see, I've started up a bit of the vibrant alloy just because, well, we might as well. And I made a whole bunch more of the energetic as well. Just get things going, right? Start getting things in the process of working. It's the same reason why I should do this as well, just to get some of them moving towards where we need them to go. Pretty straightforward. I haven't made the mana steel or the terrasteel or any of that yet. The next step I think on our agenda is the void metal. Now, void metal is not difficult to make at all. It's actually pretty straightforward, just using some metal and away you go. So this guy here, just a void seed with some metalum, and you get a void metal ingot. It's really easily done, actually. But I'd like to kind of automate that process. Now, I've never used this guy, the advanced alchemical. I don't think we're going to be using it for this. I really don't know what it does. Should we try to find out what it does? I've never used it before. Let's go take a quick look and see exactly what we're talking about here. Tower. Yes, this is where I want to be. So we need an air with a Precantio. We need an Aurum. Good. Bam. Give it to me. All right. Advanced alchemical construct. It requires a primordial pearl? Holy crikey. I only have the one. Okay. We will not be using this at this point in time. Oh my. We might have to try this thing, though. That looks awesome. Okay. We might have to try it. But we're not going to be using it this time. Because of things. Just saying. Let's get another one here. And just kind of do this as well. Primordial node manipulation. Don't mind if I do. There's still a few other things that we haven't researched in this guy. I'd like to complete them all at some point in time. I believe they're over here. The Wand Focus Celestial Recall. It sounds pretty sweet. And Black Hole Ring Proto Clay. Whatever those do. But there's a couple in here as well from Thaumcraft that we haven't done, and a few new things as well that have been added. The Eldritch Blood Orb, for example, we never really got into, and again, we're not getting into bees, I don't think, and we're not getting into AE2 Energistics, which we have more things there as well. Interesting, and lots in Thaumic Esoterica. Crucible of Souls, no clue. There's quite a few things that I really haven't played with yet. But anyways, so for the meantime, what we're going to do, this is a good question. Should we just retool the Thaumium one? So for those of you that don't know, we have a Thaumium one back here, which basically we supply it with Mana Steel, just like so. And it should start spitting out stuff. Why is this thing stuck? Okay, so that'll start spitting out Thaumium. Okay, so this was our current setup, and then we just had a storage bus on this thing, and away we go. Now, there's also the export buses that we were using for blaze rods on the bottom and the side. So by theory, if I just change the side one to Metallum, we could change this whole system up just to make void metal, which would be very easily done. But we do need to move this into the last millennium as well. So let's just stand here. I'm going to collect a little bit more Thaumium because, well, we can. And I think we'll leave it there. How does the... Okay, yeah, it's going to burn through the blaze rods. That's good. That's what it's supposed to do. So, let me get this guy done up. We'll just break this. We'll start breaking this all down. And I think we're just going to use this for our void metal setup. I think that's a good idea. Alright, so this is the auto process for our void metal here. It's all set up, good to go. We basically have just a 1 alembic system instead of a 2. So we're exporting iron, we're exporting coal at the bottom instead of blaze rods. We have a lot more coal, so we might as well use it. And that is then making metallum, which is going into here automatically. On the back side here we have an export bus with a redstone card saying active without signal to input void seeds into the alchemical construct. So basically as soon as it gets 8, it's pumping out a void metal ingot. Now what this is doing is it's looking in the system to see how many we have with this level emitter. I've set it to 640 void metal ingots, or 10 stacks basically. So as soon as we reach 640 void metal ingots, that should basically cap us, and it should stop sending void seeds and stop sending stop sending void seeds. So we should get just a little bit over 640 void metal overall, just because of some of the delay and whatnot in the system. But that should work out quite nicely. So we have basically an automatic source of void metal. Nothing wrong with that, right? The only other one that we need is a couple things from, well, we need more mana steel, that's for sure. And we need more mana pearls. Let's get a few of these going. Good. We need more mana diamonds. Let's get these going. And you know what? Just because we can, let's get a little bit more mana steel as well. Now, all of our mana stuff is, of course, in the overworld at the moment. We may develop some sort of a pool here in the last millennium just for some of the stuff that we're talking about here. We're still not really getting much for mana up here. Why is that? Oh god. Oh god. Warp, please. It's all because I clicked on those things, isn't it? I know it is. Alright. Okay, that's empty. Well, that'll be why. Okay. Why is that? Oh, okay. Alright, well, that's a little annoying. Because that's reading from this pool here. I don't think there's a way for us to pull out of that pool. Not ideally anyways. We can do that for now. And we're going to change it up anyways by basically doing this. So we're going to get a whole bunch of these going anyways. So I'm not going to be too concerned. Let me get everything we need here. I'm going to make a bit of Terra Steel, in case you didn't know what I was making. And that should allow us to get some of the Draconium stuff that we all are looking for. Alright, so ideally we need 16 of those Draconic Flux, if I recall correctly. So let's get those guys clicked, and oh my, look at that. We can craft them. Nice. Alright, so those are going to be doing their thing. We're going to be crafting those. Used up pretty much all of our awakened Draconium. We do still have some more Dragon Hearts, so I'm not going to be too concerned. We can actually get a few more of those going. What? What? I guess we're not done those yet. That would do it. Okay. And I've only set up 3 computers so far. We need to get more of those set up as well. But we should have those quite nicely. The quantum solar panels... yeah, that's a different story. We don't really have a way of auto-crafting this stuff anymore. So we will need to get that set up as well. Especially the compressed coal and the rubber. Really? Okay. Yeah, so we need to get more of the auto-processing moved over so that we can make more quantum solars. But we should be in a pretty good spot that we can actually make them, you know, pretty straightforward. We can actually steal 9 from down here. So once all these Draconic Flux capacitors, is that what they're called, are done for our creative energy cell, then we should be able to, without further ado, get this guy crafted up, steal the 9 quantum solar panels from downstairs, and that'll give us our first creative energy cell towards our portable tank. Now, we only have to do that, oh, I don't know, 7 more times. No big deal, right? But yeah, so I hope you guys liked this episode. Sorry that it didn't come out today. It was supposed to come out, yesterday. My apologies. But I ran into some technical difficulties. But I hope you guys liked it. Most of it was done, like I said, in the last one, but it should do the job for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, all that awesome stuff. And I'll see you next time.